The hardest thing probably was finding out that he had the traumatic brain injury. The witnesses said that it flipped multiple times. He went 70 feet in front of the vehicle.
My body stopped, but my brain didn't, and so it slammed against the front of my skull. On the right side front of my brain, it's all white, and they say that that's dead.
There wasn't one point where Greg just got better. It was definitely a process.
So I learned to eat and I learned to talk. I learned to walk.
My dad began to recover, and then he's on his way home. Well, it was great to have my dad home, but we learned that he was just still in the beginning of his recovery time.
I didn't know what a traumatic brain injury would mean.
The part of the brain that was damaged, that's like the part where your personality is, and where a lot of social filters that we just kind of learn with age as our brain develops what's appropriate, what's not.
My dad was extremely loving and relational with me before the wreck. I felt safe, I felt secure. Now, with his traumatic brain injury, it was not the same.
One of the things with brain trauma, you have a tendency to get irritable.
I don't know if I shut the door too loud or what, and he just like blew up at me. And I just turned around and left and got in the car and cried my eyes out.
I began to see my dad losing control. He would get angry. He would treat my mom disrespectfully.
I would have huge outbursts of anger where I would yell and scream at her, and I just became insanely jealous and made accusations toward Kim. It had to just crush her to hear me say those things, and she would just smile and say that's not true.
And I was navigating hurting for my dad because of what he was walking through, and also trying to not become bitter at him for the way he was treating my mom.
That wasn't the person that I saw growing up. And so it was kind of hard to see the person that defended her the most hurt her the most.
Just such a stark difference.
It was not who my dad was. We knew who he was. This was not him.
I knew it was a brain trauma, but it didn't make it easy. I can't do this, I can't live this way for the rest of my life. I can't live this way for 1 minute.
One day I remember standing in the kitchen and me giving her a big hug and just staying there, and she fell asleep on my arms, standing up. She was just exhausted. The pressure and the weight, I don't know how she bore it. I remember hearing statistics that around 80% of marriages where one of the spouses goes through a traumatic brain injury ends in divorce.
I could understand and see why that was the case. Gosh, it was so hard. I didn't like who he was, the feelings I was having towards him. I did not like him. How was God going to make a way through this? I just can't see it.